Before I had my own kids, I never really talked to preschoolers. They hide, and they don't answer basic questions like, what's your name? But looking back, when I talk to preschoolers, I would try to talk to them like I should talk to a 6-year-old. What's your favorite color? Do you have any brothers and sisters? What's your teacher's name? What do you like to do? If you ask those things to a 2-year-old, you'll either get no answer, an incomprehensible answer, or an unreliable answer. Having our first child put me on an endless learning curve. At each stage of development, I think, yeah, this is great. I've got this covered. And then he changes again, and suddenly none of my strategies quite work the way they used to. I found my toddlers pretty interested in people, certainly from the time they could wave and say, eh-oh. But my eldest shifted at about 2.5. He learned how to discern how people felt about him, and he became much more self-conscious. He figured out when adults were laughing at him. And then we arrived at his current stage of judge someone first and interact later. And when we invite friends over to our place that don't have any kids yet, it creeps them out. This video is for you if you feel disconnected from your preschooler and you want to draw close again. And this video is also for you to send to your childless friends who have a weird relationship with your child because they just don't get preschoolers. When I say childless friends, I'm talking about the friends I have who have never had kids, and so how would they know what preschoolers are normally like? I'm not making a snide remark about people who can't have kids or desperately want to have kids but they haven't found the right guy. People who don't know what preschoolers are because they haven't experienced their own preschoolers. But that's a lot of syllables, so I just said childless friends. 1 Corinthians 13 describes real Christian love. And it's often quoted at weddings as though it's talking about romantic love, but it's not talking about romantic love. In the previous chapter, we've just had a list of the gifts of the Spirit. And Paul says, now this is the ultimate gift of the Spirit. It's love or charity or giving someone the benefit of the doubt. This is very applicable to preschoolers because they have an uncanny knack of offending people. They stare, they're goofy, they're noisy and dirty, they can seem inconsiderate, and they say weird things like, Mom, what's wrong with that lady's face? So, I think this chapter applies. Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. I just hate this kid taking me away from my great conversation with her mum. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself, is not puffed up, does not behave rudely. If you laugh at a 3-year-old, they do understand and they will be hurt. Love does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, is not provoked, thinks no evil. Don't assume the worst of a preschooler. Love does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. Bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. And you might think, I am falling so far short, and preschoolers are insane. And maybe that's true, but it shouldn't make us throw out the high standard. A high standard is there to aim at, and the Holy Spirit loves to give us the strength to pick ourselves up when we fall. But this is the standard, and preschoolers are people, and they count. Perhaps you have a preschooler, and like me, you're stuck in a feedback loop of people calling them shy, when it's really just your friends that don't know how to have the conversation. Send this video to them. You're welcome. So, hi friends. You want to get along with your friend's preschooler because your friend is really self-conscious about it. You selflessly care about people, even the ones who can't give back much. If you don't figure this relationship out, then every visit to your friend is going to be really awkward. And you don't want to drift away from your friend as a result of all that. Today's video comes in 3 parts. The first part of any interaction with a new preschool is probably going to be some intense judgment from them. They're going to be staring at you, trying to make you flinch. Secondly, they're going to want to play with you. It's pretty unlikely that they're going to jump into a conversation. And once you have gone through both of those, you'll get to part 3. You have earned a conversation. Congratulations. Here are some conversation starters for you to use with preschoolers. My name is Eliza Southwell. My child is well trained, and there are some things you need to know are normal at this age. All right, stage 1 of getting to know a preschooler is they judge you. You're going to have to be comfortable with judgment. They will stare at you. Let them. Don't stare back. They are watching to see how you interact with other people, usually their mum. Are you safe? Which means, are you predictable? Do you act like a normal person acts? And yes, their standard of normal person is their mum or dad. Like it or lump it. Hey, you're friends with them. At this stage, do not pepper them with questions. In fact, at this stage of the interaction, better not ask them any questions at all. Because for a preschool, it takes too much effort to judge you properly and engage in conversation at the same time. This doesn't mean that you have to totally ignore their existence. Feel free to make eye contact and give an enthusiastic, "Good to see you, Evelyn." And then don't wait for a response from them. Don't insist on a response from them. Just turn back to their mum and talk normally. It'll give them the best chance of working out quickly that you are not a weirdo. Stage 2 of getting to know you is they play with you. This can take people really off guard because they go from just being stared at to suddenly the preschool's being goofy with me, like what is going on? Let them be goofy with you. It's an invitation to play. Be goofy back. He needs to know, are you a psycho? I don't think you're a psycho. Let's see if you have anything to offer in terms of relationship. My friend brought a new boyfriend over for a meal one night, and as soon as he walked in, saw Montgomery, I introduced Montgomery, and Montgomery responded by grimacing at him for 30 seconds straight, just staring and grimacing. And I just let the boyfriend know that preschoolers just want to know what you're made of before they make friends. When Montgomery had that figured out, after maybe 10 minutes, my preschooler wanted to know, is this guy going to suddenly turn aggressive and judgy? Or is he pretty relaxed and he'll take any opportunity to play? Where I had the most trouble as a single Pringle was that even after I gained their trust, I wasn't very interesting to them because I didn't know how to play. I was productive and studious. And years earlier, I'd pegged play as a waste of time. But play is literally the only way that preschoolers learn. Play by nature has to be spontaneous. So use whatever's to hand. Zoom his cars around the floor. Brush her doll's hair. For toddlers, make funny noises and pull faces. So once you've played for a while, you have now earned the right to give a crack at a conversation. Play aside for a moment, what do they actually want to talk about? Preschoolers are figuring out how the world works and different things their bodies can do. And they learn that best through cause and effect in their own experience. So at 2 years old, what Montgomery wanted in every interaction was for a new person to teach him something in a game. So if you're a visiting tradie, he will watch your every move like a maniac. And he'll be miserable that mum told him not to touch any of your tools. Or a 2-year-old might ask you the word for something you're sure he already knows. And then he'll suddenly move on. He knows that mum calls it that. He was just wondering if everyone calls it that. Preschoolers learn mostly by touching and doing, so it'll be easier to teach him something like that. Think magic tricks, sounds you can make with your face, ways to twist your fingers together, funny faces to make. Anyone do shadow puppets as a kid? Again, this is a developmental thing. You can't make them cerebral and abstract by forcing them into that kind of conversation. It won't work. I've tried. And if you don't seem likely to teach him anything, he will teach you something. Like, hey, smoking is really bad for you, actually. Or, yesterday we went to the soccer field and we saw a big poo. When they explain stuff like that to you as though you don't know it, don't be offended. You don't even need to say, actually, I did know that smoking is bad for you. Don't be defensive. I don't smoke. I really don't smoke. I promise you I don't smoke. Can we stop talking about this now? Don't be defensive. The point of it is that he had this amazing experience where he learnt something new that is of value to other people in the world. And he wants to share that with you. You can respond with engaging in the epistemology of it or extending that knowledge like, oh, so what do we say when someone's smoking near us? How do we treat people who smoke? How can we help people who want to quit? Why does addiction make it really important that you never have a first smoke? Or tell them a story from your own experience. If they saw a big poo, you can say, oh, cats have poos about this big, but dogs can have poos that are much bigger. Or ask questions. Did it look like your poo? Did it smell like your poo? What did you do with the poo? It's a conversation starter. The preschooler is trying to start a conversation with you because he trusts you. So the next time you have a weird interaction with a preschooler, please know that you're not doomed to be stuck here. Not every visit to your old friend needs to be awkward. And you can have a fantastic relationship with a preschooler that you actually care to invest in. It'll make all the difference to your friend. And when I feel a bit disconnected from my preschoolers, I use these steps too. I observe quietly. I spend lots of times playing his games, and then I intentionally offer him a conversation and look for signs of engagement. Allow the judgment. Start with play. And if you're meeting them for the first time, don't expect a conversation, because a successful interaction doesn't need one. Now, I hope that's been revelatory, because that's all for today on The Well-Trained Child.